stronger than the Earth Spirit of level 1, and for me, factor, because I think Wings could go back to the dual lane scenario. You pick up the Earth Spirit, you have a strong dual lane at mid that won't feel as much impact of roaming Earth Spirit into that lane, and you also have a strong dual safe lane that is able to deal with aggro dual lanes as well. I think that you can actually finally put a stop to the 4 position wrecking your early game.
Well, it's time to find out. The bat is still banned.
Bat Rider.
So, Bat Rider banned out by Wings. Now
I wonder.
Enchantress, right? Hey, I'm gonna make a prediction here for the first round. I think Enchantress is gonna be picked up by Fnatic. I think that's a safe bet.
Wow, good call. Aren't they still Dire? They're Dire, but they have first pick this time. Whereas before, weren't they doing like?
Don't ruin my fun, Purge.
Is that what you were gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say that they were gonna pick Enchantress.
Oh no, I think it's still likely.
Oh, okay. I thought you were doubting me. I was like, come on, man. Let me have my one moment as a host to call something in a draft.
What most likely happened is Wings chose Radiant over being on Dire. Because I think first pick has been the priority for every team throughout this tournament, and to me, it's like the key thing in this matchup too.
And Wings does have good win ratios on Radiant, I believe, and they do pick it a lot. Yeah. So maybe it's not super weird, but I was just confused that they changed it up.
Right. Yeah, I believe Ben Merlini was saying Wings, one of the teams that has an exceptionally pretty solid win rate on the Radiant side compared to the others when you put it side by side.
I think Enchantress is actually scary on the Radiant side. Like those rotations towards top lane from the Radiant side, just a bit easier to pull off than perhaps on the Dire.
True, but invasions into the Radiant jungle are easier and they have a larger effect because you're able to, the Dire jungle is kind of like this cluster, 2 different clusters, right? And you can only cut off near behind the tier 1 tower, but when it comes to the Radiant jungle, it's this giant open area where you're able to get like multiple aggressive wards in. So I feel like invading Radiant jungle is oftentimes more impactful, and therefore the Enchantress is able to kind of build off of that. And then plus, you're able to go from that to doing Roshan, you know, and that feels like serious liabilities that Wings is already setting themselves up for in the draft, but he stopped the Beastmaster.
Yeah, they broke up that pair. Also confirmation that it was in fact Fnatic actually taking first pick, and then Wings goes for Radiant.
Yeah.
And now they're going to be able to break up the combo that's been together this whole match. The Enchantress and Beastmaster now being split among the 2 teams, and Witchdoctor being prioritized by Wings once again.
Probably like a nature's prophet for a hire if you want to secure his picks, with Beastmaster and Bat Rider both taken out. He doesn't have a small hero pool by any means, but he has like 3 heroes that he plays really well.
What's the third? Prophet?
Prophet, yeah, nature's prophet.
And that was banned last game.
Yeah.
Part of the problem is you won't always see teams do this. You won't always see if you get into a meta where Enchantress is first pick and Beastmaster is still on the pool, you won't always pick up the Beastmaster to deny it from the enemy team. And the reason for that is that it's an Necronomicon hero, and Enchantress is actually really good against that. So
it's a great point, actually.
Makes sense.
The Furion Enchantress, I think, has its own combinations as a 1-2 opening as well, because of the fact that I don't feel you're able to utilize the aggression of the Enchantress in the offlane as well as many other heroes. Because Furion has more incentive to actually rotate out of his lane, right, and be aggressive in other situations.
The combo functions more towards like ganking your safe lane as well as mid lane, so your attention is around other areas.
So I like the Spectre as the second pick instead, just because we know it's probably going to be 3-4 banned. That's kind of like almost literally the only reason in my head is just Fnatic like it, they're really good on it, and it's probably going to be banned.
It's been the key hero in both Game 1 and Game 2 as well, so
I feel
it's kind of been elevated to that first stage status rather than second stage now.
And I feel like a lot of teams haven't found a solution against it. Like the aggression thing, it does work, but all you have to do, and what happened last game as well, they shift the Spectre out of the safe lane from the 6 to 8 minute mark, which is where almost all teams will smoke and gank the safe lane. Move them out of the safe lane. You saw it last game. Barely got out in time, snuck past the tier 2 as they're entering the jungle. No kill happens there, and then the game goes back neutral. If the Spectre stays there and gets ganked, then that's how you beat him. You put a lot of pressure on him, you get those kills. But if he shifts lanes or goes to the jungle and is protected by his allies, then Spectre is still going to be useful. So now they have to find hero counters, or they have to set that gank up like a minute early and catch him rotating from the tier 1 to the tier 2. And
even with the Spectre's farm slowing down while he exits the lane and spends maybe some time in jungle or rotates out entirely, he's still always able to come back. And the big thing about Spectre, he's always able to come back because he's able to be a part of kills. If they rotate and have an unsuccessful gank at the top lane, don't catch the Spectre, that leaves the other lanes open for aggression, especially if you have, say, a support that is able to ping out like, oh, they rotated top lane, you get, you know, you gank bottom, you gank the enemy safe lane, you gank the mid, and Spectre's able to be a part of that kill. And all of a sudden you go from trying to shut down the Spectre, Spectre actually getting ahead.
Okay, what about the PL man coming up from Fnatic? I think the value's there going up against Wings after that last game.
A respect ban, I feel, more than anything.
I think the entire reason they're banning it is because it counters Enchantress in the late game. Like, you saw it when DJ bought back late game. He just can't deal with the illusions, and it's a hero that buys a lot of agility items, which is the hard counter to the attack speed reduction. So every hit he gets in, it's doing a lot of physical damage, he's getting the attack speed to match it, and Enchantress doesn't have that much armor, especially with the Dragonlance and Ags build. You never buy Shivas or something like that, so you actually are quite weak to attack speed, fast attack speed heroes, plus Enchant has no AoE. She cannot deal with the PL in the late game.
I just think you're like thinking too much about the late game right now for either of these teams. You're kind of, to me, your draft is always centered around the early to mid game, and then you kind of deal with the late game when you get there.
Okay.
This is the first time that I think Wings has been in the driver's seat of a draft.
Yeah.
Where they're not reacting to what Fnatic is, and I feel like Fnatic are the ones with the pressure, right? Because we're talking about, okay, Spectre's a winning hero in this series. How do you be able to deal with this Spectre? Well, with an opening of like Beastmaster and Lone Druid, you know the pushing power is coming, and it's coming like really hard about that 30-minute marker before Spectre gets too big. So I think now Fnatic have to start shoring up their defenses, either have to go hardcore on early laning phase dominance, or try and just get a draft that's able to deal with push as well. Things like, I'm actually a bit surprised by the Vengeful Spirit, honestly, because I think this is the one area where Winter Wyvern becomes a viable pickup. It's against Lone Druid, it's against a push lineup, and it's against a Necronomicon hero. I don't like Winter Wyvern very often, but I think that's the one time you can maybe think about it.
Yeah, I would agree, actually. Good against Wish Doctor ulti as well. You make almost all of their damage types right now, you can make it immune. In most cases, Winter Wyvern is not good, but occasionally he is. And it's a Beastmaster, and like you said, almost all physical damage.
I personally prefer Venge just because it's a guaranteed setup initiation. Like, your Enchantress comes to gank the lane, you have a stun to lead the way. It also has just a bit more laning presence as well. Like, this is the support that has to babysit the Spectre. Winter Wyvern, you've got Arctic Burn, but that's got a huge cooldown at level 1. You're not using that actively to zone out an enemy offlaner.
Yeah, it's not very good against Lone Druid as well. Like, it is kind of nice to have him attack himself. But
it's also
that's about it.
It's also a Roshan hero, which I think is something that Fnatic can kind of build off of on the Dota side as well.
Terrible at roaching, so you want to make up for that elsewhere.
Ah, okay.
But I think the one downside of both of those heroes, both Venge and Wyvern, is that they're still susceptible laning phase wise. And because the Vengeful Spirit is okay with dealing with boars just because she's got decent stats and stuff, but she doesn't have the range to really be able to abuse a hero like Beastmaster. Few supports can. And now Wings, more additional pressure because the OD is like one of the more dominant heroes in the meta right now. Maybe not necessarily OP, but he's definitely in the top echelon. And you're combining it with the Beastmaster, which again, attack speed auras or any attack speed increases to the OD make him all the more powerful. We're seeing a mid-game lineup that he may be unstoppable.
Yeah, definitely looking a little scary. Like you mentioned, we talked about that too, the attack speed with the OD. I mean, what are the options left for Fnatic then? I mean, we're already talking about some options that seem a little bit less than ideal. What's left? What's left in the pool?
That's the thing. Like, right now, looking at this, there's heroes which I'm like, yeah, these heroes fit Fnatic's draft perhaps, but there's no obvious comfort heroes for mid one in the mid lane, or even a higher in the off lane. So they're going to have to go a slightly different direction. The Nyx Assassin is something they sometimes run the mid lane, which is an okay matchup against OD, but again, it's this push that's going to come in the mid lane that can cause some problems.
Yeah, they could maybe do Enchant off lane and pick another support if they want to do something like that.
Okay.
And on the bright side, they know pretty much what Wings lanes are going to be. Beastmaster off lane, probably Lone Druid safe and OD mid. They could swap those two, but more likely it'll be OD mid, I believe. So at least they'll have the advantage of being able to pick towards that.
And the Pugna bid pick up instead against the OD. You know, I was running through my head, there are so few heroes that deal well with OD at mid.
I actually love this Pugna pick. I was talking about Decrep a little bit fanboy too much, because I really like Decrep. It's really good this game. Great against Lone Druid, great against Wish Doctor ulti. You can also decrep allies that are being gone on. Pugna, according to Dota Buff at least, in all pubs, has a huge percentage win against OD due to the Nether Ward.
Oh, okay.
Because every time he casts an orb, if the Nether Ward's maxed out, he takes 150 magic damage.
There is
or
no
175.
Yeah, there's no direct magic damage spells here. You notice that like the Decrepify, all these heroes can do some form of magic damage, but it's not like your typical like Lion or something like that is able to abuse the Decrepify. So if OD's putting out pure damage, but only if he right clicks you, Lone Druid physical damage, Death Ward physical damage, Beastmaster, he's got the Primal Roaring set up, but I'm actually agreeing with Kevin here that Decrep is not bad.
We saw this going back to the day one of the group stage. They did the Treant Protector, I think with a Lone Druid as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm actually worried for Fnatic just because to me the one thing that's missing is just like the keyword here is tempo. They don't actually have that good mid-game hero to kind of play aggressive and control past the Enchantress early game. Like the Enchantress will get a few ganks off early, even if they're successful. What happens after that? This last pick for a higher has to be something that just does everything.
Pugna's not very good at roaming and ganking, you're totally right. He doesn't have a stun, so it's hard.
And Spectre Haunt, yes, you can be active, but you need somebody to set up for you. Like you need almost like a puck off lane. But again, puck off lane like weaken the laning stage perhaps. And Nyx is like so. It isn't a higher hero, perhaps that's where the okay. So
but Nyx it is. I mean, you said so. Not the worst. Not the worst of the pool.
It's the backup plan.
Right. Covers what you need to. It's not your first choice. Puck having been banned out, and a lot of the other choices too coming out from Wings. So Wings, once again, I mean, like you said, Cap, I mean, perhaps the first time we're seeing them command the lead in the draft and throwing the questions over to Fnatic or their opponent's side in general, regardless of their matchup. Any final thoughts before we jump into this last game?
It's going to be a good one. Both teams have really good lineups. They could go different ways, and we'll see who wins it.
Yeah, it's the first time we're seeing Wings playing their game, playing their draft, and not just entirely reactionary to Fnatic. So curious to see how it plays out.
All right, Cap, and you?
I think the laning phase has the most opportunity for Wings. I think they actually have an opportunity to switch ups in a way that will abuse Fnatic and leave the Nyx Assassin potentially useless. It's a very rough offlaner to run and consistently be successful with it.
All right, well, we've had our ideas here on the panel about the draft in game number 3 between Fnatic and Wings. Who will take the victory and secure their spot in the finals towards the trophy of ESL One Manila 2016? Time to find out with our commentators.
Indeed, Chopper, thank you very much, and welcome back to the casting panel. We're ready to get ourselves into the final game of this series, the deciding one between Fnatic and Wings. And once again, Wings, this 5th pick is always something that's a little bit different. This time, coming in with the Treant. You know, not a hero we're seeing all the time, but I'm liking it. You know, with the Treant, the defensive Astrals, the Witch Doctor TPs, the Savage Roars. Wings lineup, it seems like it's going to be quite hard for Fnatic to punish in the earlier stages like they have been doing with their Enchantress play.
It's been a very popular support combo in the past as well, with the Witch Doctor heal, and then of course the armor coming out from Treant that also heals. So they have a lot of ways of keeping their lineup alive. Lone Druid, obviously one of the heroes that is really hard to take down strictly because of how much HP he has once he gets his ultimate. So,
however, Fnatic have, I would say, 2 of the best counters to Outworld Devour in the game.
oh yeah, definitely.
Like Pugna is actually has one of the best win rates normalized for Pugna's own win rate, and then Nyx Assassin is really good. Sure, you have tree armor, but when you're doing like 600, 700 damage mana burns, it doesn't really help that much.
And they have swap as well. The problem is, do you think, as Austin briefly mentioned, do you think they overcommitted on the OD counters and have very little to deal with the actual Lone Druid?
I think Pugna's actually pretty good versus Lone Druid.
Yeah, because of the crypt?
Yeah, like it's very difficult for the Lone Druid to actually siege towers. Like the high ground siege is insanely complicated when you have to deal with the creep every few seconds.
Looking at the laning situation at the moment, I mean, this bottom lane, so Ohio playing the offlane Nyx Assassin. He's going to be up against the Witch Doctor and the Beastmaster combination. I mean, how much do you expect this Nyx to be able to find down here? Is he going to get decent XP, or should the side of Wings be able to force him back out of position?
Oh, you have your answer right now.
Yeah, moving in. This looks like Ohio in a little bit of trouble and falling incredibly low. I mean, he has to be careful. I mean, he's come prepared. He's got 7 tangos. And, of course, with the Mango, just that pretty damn nice base regen.
Watch who's coming.
He's got to be careful, but indeed. Fnatic looking to come in again. DJ, the man who had a great start. Game 1, Game 2. Looking for Ice. Cast will come out. Is it going to bounce? Stop from Ohio and now do it. DJ finding the first, but the question is, can they try and find themselves more? He's going to chase down Faith here. Has he got any more control here with the creeps? Faith, he's going to be fine, but yeah, as you said, DJ, this Enchantress, they let them have it again and showing us how much he can achieve in these earlier parts of the game.
He just maximizes his damage output too. He had like no cooldowns left, but he still got like an extra 200 damage on the Beastmaster, and that just adds up a lot.
And again, Modem here, the cast cap from my side trying to Old Fnatic back, and yeah, DJ, I mean, do you imagine to see DJ just sit down here with the Nyx Assassin for the time being, or is he going to be incredibly mobile and look to the other lanes at this point?
Once Nyx Assassin gets his boots plus Pro Man Shield, it's very difficult for them to actually do damage to him or kill him, so I think he doesn't have to stay around that long. I think at this point, though, Nat is actually having a somewhat difficult time with the Lone Druid getting level 3 with Aura Venom very, very quickly.
Yeah, they probably need to help Net, but on the other hand, they have willing have no response to forcing this Enchantress out of their jungle, so he can successfully harass both the bottom lane and be a constant threat to the mid as well.
Oh, see Golem for DJ. Ice expecting a gank in the mid lane, or maybe even a chicken snipe.
That's the Ice indeed, as you said. He's going to be there to help out the OD if DJ commits, but he's going to hold it off for the time being.
Did DJ see him?
I mean, regardless, I think they assume that he's around there because no one's really right-clicking Ohio. Witch Doctor, that's normally his job, and they have an observer ward over there, so they know that there's not any pulling going on.
Oh, interesting. Spectre hasn't lost yet this weekend.
Yeah, Spec's been having an incredible run.
Oh, nice chicken snipe.
Oh, bottle down.
The level 1 Nature's Guys paying off again.
A lot of wars there and the clarity, but now trying to move it onto Shadow, 3-4-3. Being kited here by the bear, mid lane, DJ started to move in, Ice getting the cask out, OD falling low, but both teams quite able to finish anyone off here. But yeah, having the courier down, that is going to be a bit of a blow here, of course.
Yeah, he was very patient with that.
It's a very interesting way of playing Trion. Normally you would always see him either go for lead seat for the early game harass or the living armor to help out on the lanes. This Nature's Guide build where you sort of play it like a bounty hunter on the early level is funny.
Teams don't expect it, which is the biggest thing. Like every time you see a bounty hunter, you'll see, you know, maybe a support carry yourself to the mid lane. You'll see chicken upgraded instantly at 3 minutes, but you know that's not what you expect with the tree. You don't expect them to be sitting in between your tier 1 and tier 2.
Now finding level 2 off of killing a ward.
On the top lane. Talking about the tree, just putting some pressure here onto 3-4-3 here, just trying to disrupt the pull. And now on his Spectre, he's still finding a decent amount, 14 for 3. But at the same time, of course, Lone Druid, he's ahead in terms of CS.
Oh, they have eyes on Witch Doctor. Looks like Enchantress maybe a move.
DJ with the wraparound. Let's see if he wants to go in, but he's going to be playing safe here. Ice holding back. Top lane, Shadow, just trying to harass this Spectre down as much as possible. But of course, still that permanent backup of 3-4-3 is just cementing himself up on this top lane. I mean, I guess this is one of the things, with the pressure that Wings are putting on the top, I mean, can the Avenge really afford to rotate, or does she just have to stay there babysitting the Spectre?
She has to stay there, and they need to do something about the Lone Druid as well.
Really? I think they're okay, because the Beastmaster is being pressured a lot. Like, he's forced to ferry himself a lot of regeneration. Nyx is getting very sick at a very timely manner, and this Enchantress is causing a lot of problems for the Beastmaster.
But even then, the focal point is still just keeping either the OD or the Lone Druid away from farm, to make sure that one of them isn't becoming a threat within the first 20 minutes. Like right now, it's still going even, right? There's 23 CS on the OD, 21 on both Pokken and Spec, and so forth.
But a lot of it depends on the Beastmaster.
Going in on top, they've found the Spectre. As we come over to them to see for more, they'll hit a route of 3-4-3 getting punished as well. We talked about Avenge needing to hang around to look after the Spec, but both of them getting taken down there.
Yeah, I was like, maybe they need to rely on Roar to set up for kills, but not when you get roots.
And that's exactly the problem. If this Lone Druid is off to a great start, it's hard for them to first of all kill him, but also do something about the timing on the Radiance.
Mid lane, trying to move in onto the Pug to the Blast, coming back in return. So Blink isn't going to be able to push forward anymore. Mid one, pulling up, he's going to be fine. Mid lane matchup, still just slightly favouring the OD. But as you said, Nyx Assassin closing on the 6, so is the Beastmaster. But I mean, if you are the Nyx Assassin, I guess once you hit the 6, are you then looking to leave the lane, or are you still looking to hang around before you know, you're able to find your next item?
I think a DJ will probably, you know, kind of set it up for him. Maybe they can take creeps behind tower and just tower dive with the Nyx without even having to use Vendetta. You can maybe swing over to mid lane if you don't think there's a sentry.
Top lane, I mean, Net, look at the damage that this bear is doing to him. He throws out a dagger at one route, and suddenly 2/3 of the guy's life's gone. But bottom lane, Sanity's is going to be dropped. Ice trying to find the courier. It looks like he might turn and just look to finish the Pug. He's going to try and deny himself to the agency. It's not going to make it, though, as Wings pick themselves up another 3rd kill here for the side, and one here on the board for the OD. 3 for 1 at the moment. Wings as well. Just looking at the lane situation, it feels like they certainly are having the stronger early game here.
And the thing about Shadow too, look at his build. He went 3-3-0-0. No points in ultimate, no points in Savage Roar, and I guess with the living armor, maybe feeling safe enough in this lane, but it's rare that you can get away with this kind of build, especially in the off lane.
Oh, bottom. Ayo going in with the Vendetta. He's not going to follow up with a stun, but there we go with the Troll Trap to set it up. Fnatic, they'll take one. DJ, 10 HP, he's got to run. As TP's coming through, OD turns up, he one-shots the Venge here. Now with the Astral, ready to set up for a second one. Wings ready to punish. Ohio, he came in looking for the action, he's looking for the TP out, he's not going to make it. The Roar comes through, and again, Wings securing themselves more kills for Blink on the OD. Fantastic rotation there from the side. Now towards the mid, Ice. And out the cask, isn't going to get any bounces. This one will hang around and just trade harassment as he is very, very close to being able to take this tier 1 down in the mid lane. But it feels like just Fnatic. They need to find more at this stage of the game. Fortification is going to come out, and Blink, he's turned back to mid. Maybe mid one's hung around too long. Horn is going to come through. They're trying to turn this one around. Fnatic looks towards the Witch Doctor, but he's got the living armor up. He's going to be fine for the time being. Mid one, he's decrypted himself, but the Maledict is going to tick him down here. So they find mid one, and now Wings. They get anything else. Doesn't look like they can, but again, that's the Haunt committed. Fnatic can't find a kill. Wings yet find themselves another, and this Ode, he's finding himself involved in so much action just 8 minutes into the game.
And now they get to deny the middle tower as well, and I really don't think the trade-off that they opted for, even though Ben thought it would be good to have the Nyx Assassin getting the early levels and Beastmaster kept down on farm, the trade-off in that is just not good, because the Beastmaster he'll bank his items over time anyways, and it's not as important as getting your Lone Druid off to a good start. Plus, Lone Druid is much more easily punishable because he has that long cooldown on the bear, so if they kept on ganking that lane and ensuring Spectre's farm, because right now, their win condition is getting a fat Spectre.
I think they committed too much to the bottom kill. They got the Witch Doctor and then ended up not getting the tower and ended up getting cleaned up by the OD. I think they need to focus, as you mentioned, more efforts on the Lone Druid, and looks like he will be able to take down this tower with Net's help.
And we're 9 minutes in now, and Spectre got an urn, but there's no face boots. He's actually very far behind what you would normally expect from a...
Oh, Vendetta pops before he can get in position.
Yeah, indeed. Fnatic looking to be unsuccessful there for the time being. Maybe they can push it because the tower already incredibly low. The stun coming out from Ohio is not going to connect, and now the TPs are coming in from Wings. They're ready to try and strike back. The question is, can they actually catch this out? Out comes the ball. If they can get the stun to Ohio, let's see if they can catch out this Nyx Assassin. He hasn't quite got the mana for Raw though on the Beastmaster, so Ohio's going to be fine. At the same time, Fnatic still sticking around. Ogner will be able to get the tower, and DJ looking to start to clean up, finds one, looks for a second, and he gets it. Fnatic, they needed that big time, and DJ, again, turning up on his Enchantress, getting himself a 3rd kill so far this game.
They have bear problems though. Net is just being bullied non-stop in this top lane, while it's 4-on-4 on the bottom.
A lot of pressure onto this back, of course. If Net can find himself involved in some of the pickoffs that Fnatic are going to be looking for, he can certainly bring it back, but it's not certainly the ideal kind of start as we've seen most of the Spectres. Obviously, we saw that 100% win rate. I think in most of the Spectre games, teams were able to secure a pretty solid laning stage for them. Top laner higher, getting into position here with the Vendetta, eyeing up Shadow.
They don't have Haunt though. It's going to be a very difficult kill unless the smoke connects.
They've got DJ coming in. If they've got the control to get the impetus through, it's a very speedy Lone Druid coming in as well. It looks like the impetus is going to be enough. It isn't quite. DJ can't quite chase it down. Now he's been astraled up. The question is, Wings, could they go back in here? Now the Untouchable, a little bit too much here for the OD to deal with.
Did you see how much that preemptive living armor actually negated? He took no damage from the Nyx Assassin, survived through the blast as well, didn't lose HP on it. It's just... He would have died easily if it wasn't because that living armor was put on him, and that was just a defensive measure. It was in case they're coming, and they did come. That was great read by Wings.
And it really seems at the moment, this trim pick. Very, very smart for the side.
The crazy part is he didn't even need Roar. If he had Roar, that would have been like no chance of a kill.
Or he was lane. Look, Faith, he's going in deep. He's looking for 3-4-3. Will get it. Ohio's TP'd in. Stun isn't going to connect onto the man, but they do have a Haunt. Yarn out of mana, and now Net, he's on his case. Throws out the dagger. And now Ohio and Net, can they get this? Ice is going to be there to hold them back. Throws out the caster. And now the Death Boy. Oh, this Witch doesn't do it. Ohio, he's going to pop, but he's going to go. A double kill for the Beast, picking that one up as well as the Venge that he dove for. Again, I mean, this game, 11 minutes in, Wings, they're starting to spiral out of control, as we can see from the individual heroes' net worth. The top three all on the side of the Radiant, and this Lone Druid, 5.3k gold. It really feels like Fnatic, they need to do something to slow this man down, but, I mean, how do they do that at this point?
It's all about the Nyx, but if they're prepared with the living armor as well as sentry wards at key choke points around the map, then they can really really limit his effectiveness. And the Spectre, he haunts him, but he can't even get any kills, as you mentioned. Like, he didn't have face boots. Like, he is just poor.
And Wings is just playing this extremely well right now, and even with all the attention that was given to the bottom lane and preventing the Beastmaster from farming, or at least attempting to, he has a book 2. We're 12 minutes in and he has a book 2.
And Wings ready to go a little bit.
Yeah, nice observer ward placement by Treant. Like, he's using the nature guys.
Druid here, magic missile into first impetus, so they're gonna drop the savage roar! Oh, sends them packing back to base, Fnatic. Oh, that spell. It's a good one.
Yeah, he's just like taunting them a lot
He's
too.
just coming back in. Look at this man's movement speed. He's all over the place.
Like, if you were actually scared as Lone Druid, you'd be sending a melee for him.
At this point, I'd almost wager you that he won't die this game just because of Treant and the Bear and this good start he's off to. It's really, really hard for Fnatic.
Roar onto DJ, no messing around. They drop the death ward. Where's your untouchable now? Straight away, Wings cleaning up the Sench that had a bit of a glimmer of hope at the start of this game, DJ, but now Wings are just punishing Fnatic left, right, center.
Yeah, Fnatic's lineup is definitely not something you want to play from behind. They have Nyx Assassin.
3-4-3, it's going to be another one for the side of the Wings, and they're moving. They will horn up. Can they try and turn a high? Coming in with a Vendetta stun. It's not going to connect. Faith trying to get himself away. Mid-one, he's going to get the blast. The dagger coming out as well. Can they kill this Beastmaster? Oh, the Ashen's going to buy him a little bit more time. Fnatic, they've lost the Vengeful Spirit, but they're looking to hit back. They'll get the Beastmaster. The cast coming out, and now OD moving back in. Also, Ohio gets the stun, holds OD back, but here's Innocence. And Shadow moving in for more Innocence. Is he going to commit? There's already a TP back in from DJ. Ohio being brought down very, very low here by the units. Can they get themselves the kill? The blast from Mid-one is trying to clean up these Necros. He can't quite do it. Ohio will live. He will get himself out. But again, it's 10 for 5 Wings, still coming out on top of these engagements. Fnatic are managing to hold on to, of course, the towers. Not really a big push yet to come in from Wings. They've only lost the tier 1 on the top lane, but still it's looking very, very rocky for the side of Fnatic 14 minutes in.
Shadow back up to the top lane, having a grand old time, just farming it up. Standing so aggressively because knowing they just fought, he can allow himself to. Nyx Assassin being back home healing.
Oh, this Pugna needs to be a little bit careful if they can get a lead in with the Treant. That's not going to be the case. They're a little bit too speedy. And he's at a point where he's very close to having that mech done as well, so that's going to be a huge pickup for Fnatic. Once they have that ready for the next team fight. And that's just a recipe away from the drums, and then at least when he haunts in, it'll be a little bit more of a scary force. But Wings with this smoke, it wants to dispel it from the high ground. Wings. And they get the vision here for the Roar if they want to try and go in still on this one. They're continuing to move around onto mid-one. No horn available at the moment, and they know it. They're going to just jump straight in onto the Pug. The 1-2 from the OD. At the same time, they're looking for 3-4-3. The Death Ward again, dropped by Ice. It's a killing spree for the Witch Doctor. And just kill after kill for Wings. This series has, from game 1 to game 2, game 3, these guys have just turned up their play. And at the moment, Fnatic, they're just struggling to deal with any of it.
I think they're just so surprised by how aggressive Wings is playing this, because in both these games that Wings have taken the dominant force, they actually have the better late game and the stuff you would expect them wanting to farm up with. Now they're just pushing down the tier 2 hour, 15 minutes in. Bear's gonna have a relic now. Bodhi's looking real strong, soon has the Black King bar.
Oh, he did have a horn, but he actually opts for the Spectral Dagger into the sideline, so he's not going to be able to ult himself out. They'll still continue to chase Ohio. He's found Ice, and this is a killing spree Witch Doctor, so a nice bit of gold if he's able to get it, but he's not going to commit for it now. Indeed, he's been spotted out. And there, here come the Axes chopping down the trees. Odie's there as well to pick this one up for the team. Another kill. And Wings, absolutely no mercy, and this is an OD now, 5-0-2, 7.5k net worth. I mean, it's 2.5k ahead of the Pugna for the side of Fnatic. It's a massive difference. And then above that, you've got a Lone Druid as well. Huge gaps in terms of values for these heroes on both sides. And Fnatic, they need a huge team fight. They need this Nyx Assassin to start finding these pickoffs. They need fights where DJ's going to be in position to dish out the damage with the impetus, but at the moment they just haven't been able to find them. And And Beastmaster's got a level 3 Necro at 16 minutes in.
And it's a Fnatic in complete disarray. I don't think they're used to playing from behind like this. They just run around, they are utterly clueless on what to do.
I think it's amazing how Wings adapted to the Enchantress during this entire series. Like in this particular game, what they did was they focused on, okay, if she's gonna roam around and gank our safe lane and gank our mid lane, we're just gonna crush their safe lane, and that's exactly what they did with the lone druid. And like that lane was just an utter disaster for Fnatic, and Spectre is still trying to get up there in net worth. Sitting at number 6.
Yeah, incredible how the one route resulted in 2 kills there as well. Very unfortunate for Fnatic.
And Net still struggling to try and find that money to complete the drums. Mech will now be done for the Pugna.
Yeah, but that's like a 17.5 minute Radiance coming out. Shadow.
Oh boy. Is as well, yeah. This farm rate on this lone druid. I mean, we talked about it earlier. Do you feel that the issue was that they just weren't able to punish the lone druid? I mean, coming out of the draft, we said that was going to be the case. You know.
It was a choice though. It was either
they
kill bottom or kill top, and they committed to bottom, and they didn't even get the tower at that first initial maneuver.
The initial kill for DJ is perfectly fine. He creates a lot of space for the next assassin. From there on out, they should have focused on the top lane instead, and they kept on going bottom lane. Even the Vengeful Spirit, after dying, TPs down to the bottom lane.
Even forcing him to skill Roar and 1 point in True Form will, you know, at least limit the amount of pressure that he can throw out at the Spectre. But with the super aggressive 3-3-0 build, it's he couldn't farm at all.
I mean, this OD now with a BKB as well. Link is going to be so scary.
And every time the Necromicon is off cooldown, Wings is just going to be looking to take a fight or take down a tower.
And they might find it here with the wraparound. Straight away looking for the TP out, but everything being thrown out onto the Venge. Wings removing 3-4-3 from the game immediately, and they'll head to Roche. There's even a DD here to help them out. Things just everything working out for them here in game 3. And it's going to be an easy Roshan by the looks of Fnatic.
It might be one of those similar situations last game where you can just push high ground with a better laking lineup at 20-something minutes.
Let's see if Wings might even be able to find something more. They're going to see Ohio, mid one as well. Ohio holding back, with the stun. They'll put the trust, they'll get the cask off here. Eyesight starting to close the gap. Look at this from the high ground, just running around. Maladit will get laid down. They'll put as well, but now they should have a good attempt to close this gap. Look at the stun out. Ohio, look at the TP out, but the ult from the Treant. No messing around for Wings, and another kill. 15-5 at the moment, 19 minutes in. I mean, if you're Fnatic, what's the game plan? How do you start to just control this tempo that Wings have bought and shut this one down? Because it's looking to get very hard now at this point.
Yeah, Ben, what are you going to do?
I don't know. I don't really have a good solution for them. They simply didn't farm on the Spectre, but at the same time, they don't have any tools to deal with the OD now that he has BKB.
They are in very dire straits. We're talking fountain diving, 3-2-2, going all in on this fountain for them to actually throw away this lead. It's incredibly hard for Fnatic to re-establish themselves in this game.
But great build all around though. The BKB just straight destroys the next assassin.
And the Netherward.
And the Netherward. And they have Inner Beast, I mean that thing should fall very quickly anyways.
Beastmaster having his Necromicon 3 just bought a Vlad for the added push.
And this push is going to be pretty insane. Well, Stiff and Fnatic are able to hold it. They'll have the Nyx back up in less than 10. The ward. Beating into high sides with the Voodoo Restoration on, but the heal seems to counteracting it. He doesn't care at this point. He's loving it.
The bear's loving it.
Right there, he's just sucking it up. I mean, Fnatic, I'll catch the bear with a magic missile. We're in the wave of terror here, but can't control it, and just like that, they've lost the melee racks a bit. It just really seems that Fnatic can't do anything to stop this push on Wings. There's a blink on the OD as well. I mean, this is looking incredibly scary for Fnatic. As you said, I think at this point they're just banking on Wings making mistakes.
Yeah, there was no one dead from the side of Fnatic. They just had to watch their base go down, basically. There's nothing they could do about it. So Wings relocating to the top lane, probably gonna execute the same thing we just saw them do. As soon as Necromicon is off cooldown, which it is in 30 seconds.
Even using the Spirit Bear on the bottom lane to divert some attention away. But I mean, look at Net's items though. He has 1,700 gold. There's no item that he can really buy right now to make a big difference in the team fights. He might even be saving for like a buyback into a haunt again, but he's not really high enough level for that to make that big of a difference here.
I feel even worse for 343. He has brown boots.
Can't even afford the bracer, man.
It's a rough life as a support.
Maybe trying to split push on the bottom lane, but it's just no contest versus the Beastmaster and the Lone Druid.
Even the race, when you have a Pugner, you'd normally think, yeah, we're in a decent...
They're not prepared. They have to TP back right now.
But even then, can you fight them?
That's the question. I mean,
You have to.
We saw in the mid lane, they lost the melee racks. Let's see if they have a more successful time defending on the top. Wings to see how hard they want to go in.
Oh, Necro 3 down. We even see Arcane Rune on OD.
There, just going in, chipping away at the tower. Trying to bring it down here with the impetus and the stuns. If they can stagger this, maybe they've got a chance of killing the bear, and they will once. Get themselves a bit of money in the bank here. The resummon will be there for Wings, of course. The question is, do they want to try and go for push again? I mean, they can't really risk losing the bear again whilst it's on cooldown, because that would be a nice window for Fnatic to try and fight back into the side.
There is a minute on the Aegis, however, so they could have forced it, but probably wisely choose to just play it safe. Retreat until the bear's off cooldown, maybe wait for another Roshan. There's no reason for them to overextend, overcommit, risk anything. They're so far ahead.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Maybe waiting for the Necro book cooldown too, just coming off.
Yeah, but it feels like Enchantress just takes it every time, so it's not even that important anymore.
True.
And here we go again. In goes the bear. Oh, BKB dropped by Blinkers. He just jumps straight in, starts to lock down onto Ohio. Who needs to take down the ward? Mid one. Holding back, but Net just getting 1, 2, 3 shot it in pretty much by the OD. It drops the sanity clips onto Ohio mid one. The OD, he's not scared at all of these guys. Living armor up onto him. Magic Missile will come out to the bear. The Death Ward now, pounding into mid one. Decreps himself. We're going to go back in, dropping down the blast. There's a buyback here from down the Spectre, haunting it as well. The question is, can they find anyone off the back of this? They're trying to move forward, but the Savage Roar sends him back. 3-4-3 throws out a Magic Missile, but straight away OD jumps back in, looks to set up another kill here with the Astral. They will gather around, take down the Vengeful Spirit. Unstoppable for Blink here on the OD, and they'll move in to finish this top lane of Rax and Wings. This series, and yeah, the crowd appreciating just the level of play that Wings have brought here. Shutting down Net, that's a dieback on your Spectre. Fnatic being forced back to base. And this series, you know, game 1 to game 2, now to game 3, Wings just stepping it up each and every time, and to a point now where Fnatic, as we've seen this game, they've just been unable to deal with it. And in game 2 and game 3, Wings showing us how a lineup, as you keep saying, looks to be late game. You know, 23 minutes in, it's clearing your base out of Rax.
But the way they're playing this just oozes confidence. Like, if there's anything that these games are showing, it's that Wings are so super confident and comfortable with what they're playing.
It's just, yeah, as we said from the start, Fnatic were always going to have trouble just killing the lineup of Wings, and I think that kind of shows testament here. I mean, now on the defense, maybe. You know, there's 4 heroes, incredibly lovely time to have a Haunt now, but of course, Dead Spectre and on cooldown. And, you know, they've got the job done in terms of destroying the base of Fnatic. Fnatic, you know, they are going to fight to the end here. They're going to stick around, see if they can bring it back in one large, big fight. If they can find... And they need everything to go right for them, everything to go wrong for Wings really at this point, because they're pretty much on the verge of having to deal with mega creeps just at half a set of racks staying alive there on the bottom lane at 24 minutes in.
When there's this significant a net worth difference and your 5 racks is down, it's not one time that they need to go in and stand in the fountain, it's 3 times.
3 times.
It's a tall order.
There it is. AC on Lone Druid. We saw there's a 30k net worth lead at 25 minutes in. That's absolutely insane. That's a huge lead for Wings this game.
Here we go. Desperate measures.
See what they can find. Innocent. He's invised up here and he's going to dispel the smoke on 2 of them. They'll pop the dust. It doesn't quite catch him though. The Haunt, they'll know where he is. They do have a sentry if they can get themselves in range. They'll jump in, looking for the Treant. They'll get the vision out and they'll take down 1. And that's the start of something good. You know, if they can do that, as you said, many more times.
Many more times.
Many more times.
On carries.
Oh, I think they're just getting mega creeps at this very instant, though. Ranger X only at 275
Wings,
HP.
yeah, we come into the fight. 3-4-3's been spotted out. They'll move in with the lone druid, the Venge, in a lot of trouble. The root with the first hit, and he's gone.
Radiant now
Venge down for 30 seconds. The rest of Fnatic TP back.
Jeez, he even sent Necro Books to finish off that Ranger X to secure megas. Yeah, the way they played it though, it's like, oh, we see DJ playing aggressively, we'll play aggressively with all 5 heroes. I really like how they.
Oh, he jumps in onto net. 1, 2, give it a third one, and that is going to be a godlike now for the OD. DJ dropping as well, and GG is called. Fnatic, they showed us a great show in game 1 and game 2, but game 3, Wings, they're just playing so darn well.
Worthy of loud applause from the audience. Very well played. Every one of their players understanding their role to perfection. I think they played so great in these 2 series, or 2 games rather.
Yeah, I mean, Ben, going forward from this, I mean, Wings, a team as well that I feel that out of all of the teams involved in this land, they're the ones bringing us the most different stuff. You know, your Venomancers, your Necro, and now your Treants coming back